Solar panels need the sun to work, but there's a catch. Extreme heat from peak sunlight actually destroys their ability to generate power. Look at what happens on a typical summer afternoon. As the sunlight intensity climbs toward its peak, the physical temperature of the panel spikes, and its electrical efficiency drops fast. The physics behind this are straightforward. When silicon solar cells heat up, the electrons inside them become highly excited. That extra thermal energy creates resistance, which causes the panel's voltage to fall off a cliff. This chart shows how two panel architectures handle thermal stress over a single day. Notice what happens between 1 and 4 p.m. The polycrystalline panel's power generation takes a massive dive compared to the monocrystalline one. Assuming that maximum sunshine guarantees maximum electricity is a common and expensive mistake. If you do not calculate the specific heat penalty for your local environment, you permanently cap your system's financial return. That misunderstanding usually starts with the spec sheet. Almost every panel is sold based on a headline wattage number, say 400 watts, known as its standard test conditions rating. STC ratings are measured in a climate-controlled laboratory at 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Throw that panel on a blazing roof, and a 400-watt module might only generate 320 watts. To get a realistic expectation, look for the NOCT metric, which factors in ambient heat. The spec sheet also provides a temperature coefficient. This tells you the precise percentage of power the panel bleeds away for every single degree it heats up. This table shows field-tested temperature coefficients for a variety of commercial modules. By highlighting these effective columns, you can see how wildly different panel technologies react to the exact same temperature increases. If you size your rooftop system based solely on the STC marketing numbers, you guarantee an undersized system. When the summer heat peaks and your air conditioner is running the hardest, your panels will be producing the least. Let's map the thermal resilience of today's silicon architectures against their cost premium. The budget baseline, mono-PERC, sits in the low-cost, low-resilience quadrant. Despite the low upfront price, its severe temperature coefficient bleeds 0.5% of efficiency per degree, devastating capacity on hot afternoons. The modern industry standard has largely shifted to a middle ground technology called TOPCon. TOPCon requires a slightly higher initial investment, but it delivers a much safer temperature coefficient, usually around -0.30% per degree. It holds on to its power much better when the sun beats down. Installing budget PERC panels in a hot climate is a mathematical risk. For most homeowners in average environments, TOPCon is the most reliable, cost-effective choice. Then there is the absolute elite tier of solar technology, premium N-type cells, specifically HJT and HPBC architectures. These panels boast the best temperature coefficients on the consumer market, hovering between -0.24 and 0.26%. In practical terms, that means an HJT panel can physically bake at 158 degrees Fahrenheit, or 70 degrees Celsius, and still output nearly 90% of its rated power. You can also optimize around heat and sunlight mechanically by using external hardware, specifically dual-axis solar trackers. This graph shows the sunlight intensity captured by a dual-axis system. Because the tracker physically rotates the panels to follow the sun from dawn to dusk, they sustain a massive peak of light intensity through the entire middle of the day. That mechanical tracking yields an 18% boost in overall efficiency, and suspending the panels high in the air provides excellent cooling airflow. But that approach requires vast ground space, and moving parts mean inevitable mechanical maintenance. Pursuing this maximum efficiency requires significant capital. That investment only makes mathematical sense if you live in an environment with intensely severe, prolonged sunlight. Your panel choice must be dictated by your specific local climate. The decision starts with your primary environment. In regions with persistent 90+ degree summers, your path is clear. Target an HJT or HPBC panel with a temperature coefficient better than -0.26%. For desert homeowners, paying the premium for these high-end architectures protects your system from severe thermal loss. But if your climate features distinct seasons and milder summers, your hardware requirements change. In temperate zones, the heat penalty isn't severe enough to justify an HJT panel's price tag. A standard TOPCon module becomes the smartest financial play. The rule is simple. Don't overpay for thermal ratings you won't use, but never cheap out on budget panels in the Sunbelt. There is one final variable to account for. Even with the most heat-resistant panel on the market, a poor installation can ruin it. The biggest mistake is flush mounting panels directly against dark asphalt shingles. The roof absorbs solar radiation, and that trapped heat bakes the panel from underneath. The solution is natural convective airflow. Ensure your installer leaves a minimum gap of 10 centimeters beneath the panels, so hot air can cycle out. A raised array might not look as sleek against the roofline, but that airflow drastically preserves both daily output and the 25-year lifespan. Before you ever sign a contract, demand the spec sheet from your installer. Check the NOCT rating, verify the temperature coefficient, and ensure you're buying the right silicone for your roof. Let the climate dictate the hardware, and the math will take care of itself.